I have so many boxes here of stuff I want to give away. I actually got to give away a little bit of it, sorry, unexpectedly Sunday morning because Cosmo Moore, fellow doll person, he's done some videos, lots of doll sewing, shares patterns, shares customs, anyway, was going to be driving past on the highway going home from a weekend trip with his partner. And I said, oh, if you are driving past, you could stop in and say hi. And he did, so he was here for not long because they really wanted to drive home. They had a long drive ahead, and so I didn't blame him. So I was here maybe half an hour, and that was just really cool to get to meet another doll person. And I said, before you go, you mind sitting down and going through this box of stuff I want to give away? I mean, I also had a box for him that I made up like a month ago that I just had not gotten around to mailing yet. So I'm not even sure what's still in that box, but I handed it to him. It was sealed. It was ready to mail. and gave him another doll or two and was like, and made some cookies and said, great to meet you, take my stuff. So that was nice for a couple reasons. And I've been sewing. I took some time to I just got into the cloth that Nada had given me, and I just started cutting stuff out, mostly for John, a little bit for me, and a few for Nada. I'd actually okay, this is the cloth, doll appropriate cloth from Nada. This is not all of it. This has, some of it has been cut into doll clothes already. Probably equivalent to what's inside the box is also in the drawer in the bottom of the thing next to me as cloth set aside to sew more stuff for Nada. So, I can't remember where I was going with this original thought. I cut out a lot of stuff, I think that was it. But also the side thought is, I don't need more cloth. I know it's really hard to say that because I just love cloth and love seeing what's out there, but for the rest of this year at least, no more cloth. I thank everyone for their generosity. I've run out of room. I know I have the storage tubs and stuff downstairs, so I was really hoping Cosmo could stay longer too so I can get him to look through the cloth, but I let him go. It's not all selfish for me to get stuff away. But I don't like having stuff stored away. I like, as you can see here, you know, normally there were dolls here. The dolls have gotten, things have gotten shuffled around. I pulled an old plastic crate out and put that behind this suitcase full of cloth, and the dolls are on the crate, because with the dolls in the way of this cloth, I wasn't using this cloth because it was too hard to get to. So I gotta, if it's not easy to get to, I don't use it. So that's why I want to get organized. I do want to use stuff, and I cannot take any more in because the more I have, the less I use, if that makes sense. So I have been having fun just starting with this stack of stuff from Nada. Because I only just rearranged this a few days ago. It was actually after I had started cutting out a lot of stuff from Nada cloth. So this is like opened up to me again, but I've already committed to going through this for John and Nada's stuff. So I have been sewing. Like I said, I just started cutting stuff out from this. And I have a big pile of stuff on the desk here that I have slowly been working through sewing it. And so I will show you what I've sewn. Again, most of this is for John. I don't think John's been watching these videos, Doll Junk, because he has been busy and mostly customizing every Bo Peep doll in Australia, but that's John. So, like I said, mostly this is stuff I've sewn for John. There's a few things for me. A few things might be for me once I've sewn everything. Like if I'm real close in weight in the box that I'm going to send to John, I can take a few things out. If I'm really overweight in the box, there's a whole doll, unexpected doll I can take out and fill that in with clothes. But anyway, I will show you what I've sewn. And John, if you're watching, you can go ahead and watch, or you can look away, up to you. I did start, I sewed 3 of these. This is more or less smaller Blythe size. So that's for John. see, and for me and for Nada, just because there's actually a lot more of this cloth. But I gotta start on it. So like I said, I will definitely have enough cloth to sew for the rest of the year, if not all of next year and the year after, with all this doll cloth. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one with my Nada stuff. All this doll cloth and all this human size cloth. I have many projects ahead of me, and I just have to be strong and not get anything else. That's gonna be hard. And I've had fun. There's actually several more pieces cut out from this print. There's just various colors and blobs and splotches of these. This hot pink and aqua and olive green and maroon. I know there are some things in the cloth from Nada that were Marimekko cloth, including some samples that I've been able to identify. I don't think this is the Marimekko, but it is the spirit of Marimekko, so it's fun to use these enormous prints on doll stuff. Like this was only like a couple of pieces that were like maybe 6 by 9. They weren't huge pieces, so I don't even know what the overall large print looks like, but I've been having fun cutting them into small doll things. Like I said, there's another one, at least one more thing cut from this stuff in my pile of stuff to sew, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be for my dolls, but these are for John's. And also in a lot of the stuff, in the stuff from Nada, there were some like very 1980s style wax prints. You know, I love wax prints, but wax prints have changed through the decades. Like modern wax prints have a very different aesthetic from the when I first encountered wax prints was in the 90s, and it was on clearance tables, so it was like 80s wax prints, and it's still a wax print and I love it, but there's just a subtle difference. So there's like quite a bit of more of this, but I just went ahead and made this into. If you were around when I sold my Etsy stuff, this is what I called a wink dress, because my whole Dolls Ahoy logo was like a little face winking, and so I made these dresses super simple, and I could like churn them out, so they were a way to explore the prints themselves more than the shape of the clothes. And I like sold them for $5 each way back when. So I still make winks every once in a while. Again, it's a fun way to explore the print itself, and when you make them in Blythe size, since Blythe is not generally about wearing form-fitting stuff. So here's another one. I had a lot of fun with this print. Obviously this is from some enormous print, probably great big dots or something, and that's just with the colors. Like I said, I don't think this is actual Marimekko, but it wants to be because the way that it looks like one color is printed over the other instead of being aligned perfectly. And I only barely know what Marimekko cloth is, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. It's this finish. It's considered like one of the first lifestyle brands because they not only printed these large, free-flowing, very loosely designed prints, but they also were designing clothes in the 50s and 60s that were also more free-flowing than the relatively structured clothes of the time. So Marimekko is interesting. But I thought this was fun. Very, John likes blue and mod, so I've had fun sewing these for him. And it has been sunny and cloudy and sunny and cloudy all day, so I apologize if the camera's doing weird stuff for the light in here. This is more Barbie sized. There is the tiniest flaw in the print on the front, but I don't think it's too obvious in the overall psychedelic wonder of this print. And this is also really interesting textured cloth. There's a little bit more that I'm making to a bodice for another dress. I just haven't had the right color thread in my machine to sew the skirt for that dress yet, so that's coming. And I have been really not too persnickety about the threads in my machine. I've actually used up several threads that were only little bits of left, but still I'm keeping them in this general blues and greens color range. Like when I started, let's see, when I started I was using yellow, Like this is mostly some yellow, but I like ran out partway through and switched to a more of an olive green, and then from that olive green, when that ran out, I switched to more of a bright green. So I'm amusing myself with my thread selection too. And I am intentionally trying to use spools that I don't have a lot of, but I actually used up a lot of those. So I'm now getting into the thread that Nada gave me. I had always heard that old thread, you cannot use the old thread. They always say rots on the spool. And as evidence, it was given that if you can break it, then it's not usable. So when I first saw all this like pounds and hundreds of spools, pounds and pounds of old thread, I thought, oh no. Like some of it is on wooden spools and still has the wrapper on it. And they're amazing colors. But I thought, oh no, this is useless. But I thought, no, surely not. So I looked it up. And there are a lot of people who are saying, yes, if you can break it, it's bad, don't use it. But I also found blogs that say, I don't know what people are talking about. I sew a vintage thread all the time. I have never had a problem with it. And I mentioned it on Tumblr, and people are saying, actually, yes, I sew with old thread too, and I've never had a problem with it. And I also found a thread company, a company that produces thread, saying if you pull on the thread and it breaks with a clean snap, that's fine. They say the problem is if you pull on the thread and it just kind of frays apart instead of breaking clean, then you have the problem. So I figure if the thread company, if the company whose business is to sell you more thread, is telling you that this old thread is fine, you can still use it, then that's probably true. So I have been using old thread, and I have admit I've started with some of the stuff that's like pure polyester, and when I pull it, it is nowhere near breaking. So I will probably ease into the cotton covered stuff, because honestly you could probably take pure cotton thread and break it when it's brand new, because cotton is not as strong as polyester. And I know I'm really diverting away from doll stuff, so I will get back to the doll clothes now. Anyway, I'm using old thread and having fun with the colors. So John has a couple of dolls that are either he's painted the bodies silver, of course you know silver with spray paint's not super shiny, or he's gotten a Spectra so it has that vacuum metallized super shiny body, and he has a Marmot, what's it called, Jewelborg, I think, which is, they use the body, the Marmot body that the original Type 1 pull-ups used, but it's made out of translucent plastic, so it's blue. So I'm going to make a couple lace dresses for those dolls with the really fantasy bodies. So here's one, and I don't know if you can see, it's not, there's some iridescent fiber woven into this lace. So I think that will be fun on John's dolls, I hope. And then I made a couple sets. I will admit in the past when I've sent stuff to John, I've tried to make something like really detailed and intricate. Like last year I made that motorcycle jacket out of the iridescent vinyl stuff with the real working zipper, and I usually send him something patchwork, and I've made, you know, 5-pocket jeans and buttoned up shirts. I usually make stuff fairly elaborate. Don't know if I'm going to have the brain for elaborate stuff this year, because I just feel so bad that it's taken me so long to get to it that I want to get it done. But I realize I've never made sets before. I've never made outfits. I've always made just dresses or a shirt here and pants there. So I actually started with, and I didn't initially intend this to be a set, but I'd actually already cut out a bunch of other stuff that sets and realized this could be a set. So this is another of the Wink dresses. This is, you know, Blythe Momoko pull-up sized. And then I made, with like the very last bit of another piece of this cloth, these pants. Now this is the Blythe size at the waist, so this only fits smaller dolls. Like I had this on the Jinyi body and it fit perfectly, so I'm assuming it's going to fit Momoko. I tried to put it on one of my Francie's, but she's not straight leg, so, you know, putting close-fitting pants on a bend leg body is really annoying, so I just gave up. But I know John has a lot of different dolls, and a lot of Asian dolls tend to be smaller than Western dolls, so I think you're going to have somebody who can wear this, and then you put it together with this, and you get a tunic and pants set that's just very late 60s, early 70s. Like this is when I thought, well, I could keep this for my dolls and no one would know, but I think John has more dolls that can wear this. And then like I said, this I just intended initially this for John's and this for my dolls, but I don't have dolls that can wear this. So we're putting that together. But this one I actually did cut out as a set. And I have more of this. Again, all of this stuff is, well, not the lace. Or was it the lace? Actually, Nada may have given, yeah, no, the lace did come from Nada's stuff too. So all of this is Nada cloth. I have a few other lace dresses I've cut out with cloth, with lace I already had. But everything else is Nada cloth. So this was Nada cloth. It wasn't a huge piece of this. Can you tell it's corduroy? It's probably also covered with cat hair. Well, I know it's covered with cat hair. I just don't know if you can see it. So there is a little bit more of this from the Nada cloth. So this is, again, Blythe size. I don't necessarily think he will dress his Wataru in this directly, but I think he does have a lot of dolls that are in this smaller size. And this might actually look interesting on a Momoko. Everything will become cropped. It'll be a crop top on crop pants. Which could work. And John also kind of likes 80s and 90s aesthetic stuff, so I also made this ridiculous little thing. Again, his Wataru doll is his like most treasured doll, and I only dream of the stuff I make for him ending up in his Wataru, but I think this would look fun on Wataru. So I feel like that's not a lot of stuff I've sewn, but I have been sewing. And I've been thinking about doll stuff. And I've been thinking about things that I can send people and give away to people, and I'm still trying to coordinate with the local doll people about when they might come over and take more of my stuff. So that's this week's video. I'm not going to pad it out with anything else. And so hopefully, once I get this big project done for John, and then the equally big project done of making more things for Nada for what I feel like is equal to the dolls I've gotten from her, then I will have those dolls available, and I'll have my own time to sew available again, and I still haven't sewn more dresses for me, so I might sneak some of those in. But like I said, I think you can see just this big pile of cloth here of stuff to sew also for dolls. And the drawer in the bottom of this thing, it's for Nada dolls, and I have the dresser over there full of cloth for dolls, and even this could probably last through the rest of the year for dolls if I only sewed stuff from this like every day. Because a little bit goes a long way for dolls. And it's like some of these I really, really want to figure out how to use. Like this is a nice kind of tweedy two-tone color. This again, it was obviously originally an enormous print, and this is just a detail, but I feel like I could use it. Same with this. I want to figure out how to use this for dolls. And then this is like 4 different colorways of the same thing. So I haven't decided if I want to make like 4 coordinating dresses or 1 big thing including all those. There's just every bit of cloth, not every bit of cloth I get into my hands, but every cloth that grabs me inspires me. Like, look at this. And my problem is every new piece of cloth I get also inspires me, but I have to remember that I have all this stuff already that is already so inspiring, and I just need to use that. And so yeah, I need to buckle down, stop shopping around, and start using what I have. I was originally thinking, this is also Nada cloth is going to make this into like doll coats, but the child has already asked for a pillow made out of this, so I'll get to that sometime too. So I don't need more cloth. I really should say I don't need more dolls, but I know I'm weaker on dolls because right now I still have space to store dolls. That's the wrong reason to accept more dolls into my life, so I'm trying not to acquire more dolls. I really want to work on dolls. I want to work on sewing. I'm hoping I can get back in the swing of things, and at least I'll have more of this stuff to show you, unless I happen to have a big flurry of sewing and get it all sewn up over the weekend and mailed next week, which I kind of doubt will happen. But Thanks for watching. I hope this was a little more interesting than my last few videos have been.